I told you I was now in HMS Antrim, and of course we were in the Cold War, and that involved steaming for thousands of miles around the North Atlantic on exercises and trying to identify Soviet warships and submarines and so on. And I suppose as the navigator I was on the bridge for about 21 hours a day, and for a month or so, at the end of which I was exhausted.
Yes, yeah.
But I went to sea in Antrim, and we went up to the North Cape, and on the way home down the North Sea I received a telegram from my wife saying, "Have found our house, all is well."
Oh.
And she had found the house that we have owned since 1971.
Oh, wow.
And I got home and she met me, and she took me to see this house, and I walked around with my eyes shut and trying not to fall asleep, because
oh yes, sure.
I was utterly exhausted. And Jean said, "You don't like it really, do you?" I said, I think it's lovely. Can I go to sleep now?
Where's the bedroom?
The next job after that was a shore job at HMS Dryad, which was at Southwark Village, and I was on the staff there, and I was selected to train the first of a new concept for officers in Oxfams. It's called the PWO course, Principal Warfare Officer. The PWO is in the operations room of a ship, and is taking information from radars and sonars, weapon system radars.
Sure, yeah.
Conducting helicopter transfers from his ship, getting all the ships in the right place for exercises and so on. And previously there had been in the Oxfam a specialist in navigation, specialist in communications, in anti-submarine warfare, and these were all different people.
Okay.
But now the PWO had to do the job of all of them.
Oh, okay, I see.
And because I was the navigating officer and the operations officer, I had in effect been the PWO.
Oh, I see.
So I was chosen to start this course off, and I trained the first 8 courses, hand-picked officers to promote the new concept. And I spent most of my time running like hell to stay ahead of them, because they were all very intelligent people. And funnily enough, to digress, a couple of months ago I was at an informal naval lunch at the pub, and I was talking to 4 of my PWOs that I'd trained.
Yeah.
One was a Commodore, 2 were Vice Admirals, and 1 was an Admiral who commanded the entire Navy.
Wow. The whole Navy?
Yeah. Wow. So I'm just a commander and a lowly rank. But all these admirals deferred to me as their course officer.
Well, you've earned that.
It was just lovely. So
that's awesome.
Charming and kind of them. Well, that was all successful, and towards the end of it, I took advantage of what my captain in Antrim had done for me, because he said one day, "I'm going up to London to talk to the appointers." Those are the officers who say, "Bloggins, you're going to that ship.
Okay.
Smith, you're going to that ship." And he said, "I'm going to see the appointers. Have you got any messages?" So I said, "Yes, sir." And I opened a copy of the Times, and there was a double page spread showing a warship with little lines coming off it saying commanding officer, engineer officer, navigating officer, next job commander of a frigate. And so I said, it says here my next job is commander of a frigate. So if I'm not given commander of a frigate, I shall sue their lordships under the Trades Description Act. And off he went, and he fixed it.
Good.
So off I went to command a ship, and that was the aim that I set for myself when I was 12 years old.
Oh, brilliant.
And suddenly I had this ship to drive, and it's like being given a Ferrari and told, oh, don't worry about expenses, insurance or petrol or repairs or anything like that, just go and drive it. And my job was to train navigators and prospective commanding officers in the most difficult of jobs of navigation. And a couple of years ago I was at a naval dinner, and a chap came up to me and said, hello sir, I've got something to show you. And I recognised his face, so I couldn't remember his name. And he opened his wallet and took out a piece of paper about that big. And he said, at 3 o'clock in the morning, 40 years ago, I was trying to qualify as a dagger navigator, and I was conducting your ship into a very difficult place in Scotland with 3 other ships, and you gave me this piece of paper. And I remembered thinking at the time how well he was doing. So I found a scrap of paper and I wrote on it, you are now one of the best navigators on the planet, don't cock it up. And he kept that in his wallet for 40 years.
I love that. That's awesome. I love that. Oh, brilliant.
So here I was driving a frigate, and I wasn't accountable to anybody except the commander-in-chief. I didn't have any interposing captains and admirals and so on. So what I used to do is organise a program for the ship to go into difficult places, and then I would signal my friend on the C&C staff and saying, please order me to do this.
Okay.
And so I would get a message from the commander-in-chief, you're required to carry out the following program, and so off I would go.
Okay.
With classes of people, you know, and it was just terrific. And one day I took my wife to sea with the officer watcher's fiancée and the navigating officer's wife.
Mm-hmm.
So there were these 3 ladies on the bridge, and I said to Jean, would you like to take command of the ship? And she said, yeah, all right, yeah, what do I have to do? I said, well, you sit in this chair on the bridge, and if anybody says anything to you, you say, very good, carry on, please. And after 20 minutes she said, is this all you do all day? I said, yes, it's easy, isn't it?